I'm kind of going through some whiskeys that I purchased after the 4th of November spirits release last year. That would have been 2017. So 4th of November here in British Columbia, a lot of whiskeys were released by the British Columbia liquor stores, and a lot of them are quite special bottles. I have here a Highland Park Valkyrie, and that's why I put the Ride of the Valkyries at the beginning. It's dusty. It's been sitting under my bar for a while, and there's a whole bunch of writing on the back here, and a bunch of writing on the side, and tasting notes and everything else. And it's got a whole design thing going on here, and there's dust all over my table. But I'm going to pour myself a dram and then read some of this stuff, some of the marketing that's on the back here. There is the Highland Park Valkyrie. It is bottled at 45.9% alcohol by volume. And it's in partnership with Jim Lingvild from Denmark, who I guess designed the label or something. Join our inner circle to be the first to hear about second and final installments of our Viking Legends series. Okay, so this is part of a series. I've never had any of the others. Let's pour a dram and see what we can find out on the box. Yeah, the tab pulls out nicely. I guess this is a limited release or something. I'm not sure. It doesn't say how many bottles there are. Highland Park Distillery. For Viking warriors, death was not an end, but a glorious beginning, and it began with the Valkyries. First series of special Viking Legend releases. Okay, so there's going to be other ones. Maybe next year's Spirit release will have some of those. Let's go. That looks about right. So, while that sits a little bit, let's read. That sun is bright. That sun is hot. Jim Lingvild is a Viking, living in a castle which he designed himself in the Danish village of Faaborg. His 36th great-grandfather was Ragnvald Eysteinsson, the first Earl of the Orkney Islands, and Jim can trace his own bloodline all the way back to the 8th century. He's also a writer and a designer of international renown. Who better to design Highland Park Valkyrie? The inspiration for Jim's magnificent illustrations comes from two important sources: the ancient hammerstone of Gotland and a typical Viking pendant from around 300 to 700 AD. Jim credits his success in life to his Viking roots. We have always been forced to think fast and creatively. We needed heat to survive, so we are tough and hard working. It takes more than a hurricane to knock us down, spoken like a true Viking. And on this side, like a pale sunset on an Orkney winter's day, here comes the marketing. The natural amber hue of Highland Park. That looks kind of amber, doesn't it? Yeah. The Valkyrie belies the intense warmth of its fiery depths. A dramatic opening with this sharp tang of sweet green apples and ripening lemons gives way to bewitching. Okay, let's see what we got. I'm going to taste it instead of reading this stuff. On the back here, the legend. Valkyries go weaving with drawn swords. Hild and Hjorthmul, Sangrid and Svipul. Spears will shatter, shields will splinter, swords will gnaw like wolves through armor. Oh, it's a song of Orador, Njal's saga, describing the fall of Brian Boru to Viking forces in the Battle of Clontarf, 1014. For Viking warriors, death was not an end. Okay. Plunging down from the dark heavens with blood-curdling shrieks, the Valkyries descend like avenging angels on horseback to comb the battlefields for the bravest of the fallen warriors, those marked out by their Valknut tattoo as heroes fit to enter Valhalla, the hall of the great Norse god Odin. Valkyrie celebrates our rich Nordic ancestry on Orkney, once part of a vast Viking kingdom, long before Highland Park was founded in 1798. From those Viking warriors we inherit integrity, bravery, and independence, values still demonstrated today in our distillery. Valkyrie is the first in a series. Okay, great. This will join the others on the wall. Now let's get some details here. I bought this on the 11th of November, so just after the 4th. The Highland Park Valkyrie, $89.99, so $90 plus another 13 or so, so just a shade over 100 grand total. Yeah, just a shade over 100. Yep. That was with taxes and all. Oh. I'm getting apple and cinnamon, like cinnamon toasty Apple Jack cereal. Apple Jack cereal, so I'm getting something malty, apples and cinnamon. Getting some peat as well. Some peat smoke mixed in with the apple and cinnamon Apple Jack. There's no age statement on it from what I understand. No. Oh, a little bit of fudge, maybe. Chocolate fudge. But it's certainly overpowered by the apple and cinnamon. And the peat. The peat and apple and cinnamon kind of doing a little dance there. Balanced, at least on the nose. What does it say on theirs? Excuse me. Hey. Okay. It's a bunch of marketing. It's quite pleasant on the nose. The Apple Jacks is moving aside, leaving room for something else. And we're going to determine what that something else is really soon. More peat. Getting a bit of caramel and vanilla too. As you get deeper in, because the first thing that got me was the apple and the cinnamon and the something malty. Then the smoke, the peat smoke. And now we're going deeper. It's quite fruity, almost like it's. Now I'm getting quite a bit of medium fruits like plums and maybe a bit of raisins. But they're not dried fruits. I think there's some sherry cask influence here for sure. I'm getting more of that now. That's getting stronger than the smoke. The peat smoke is sort of fading too. It changes as it goes, which is pretty good. I like it when it does that. It keeps me on my toes. This is not one-dimensional. This has got several layers to it. And then I come back to another layer of apples and cinnamon. Other fruits too. Plums, yes. Nice nose on it. See what we get on the taste. Wow. Whoa. That's a little different. There's intense, strong fruit at first. The intense, strong fruit is things like pears and light green grapes. What peat smoke there is very subtle. Very subtle. Most of what I'm getting is pears and grapes, intense pears and grapes. I think it needs a little bit of water. I'm going to have to pause now to go get a spoon. Okay, I have a spoon here. And I'm going to put a little bit of water in this Valkyrie just because I'm getting just intense fruit and not much else at first. This needs, I believe, to open up. And I'm sure that at 45.9% alcohol by volume, it can take a little bit of water. Okay. Let that all come together. As expected, the fruits are not as strong as they were. I'm getting a bit of marshmallow. A little bit of marshmallow. Fudge. Fudge again. Marshmallow and fudge. Some fruit, some pear and apple. But the fruit has really, really faded since I put some water in there. Maybe a bit of tobacco. Interesting. Now, where's that complexity that I was looking for? There's some more fudge and marshmallow. Where's that complexity that I was expecting on the nose at first? Will I get it on the taste now? Okay, the fruit is still strong. The fruit is still strong, but it's a lot weaker than it was. There's a little bit of what I could call an alcohol burn. I don't usually get too much alcohol burn. This is young. This is probably why. It's getting a little bit of caramel. Caramel and vanilla with the fudge. So I'm thinking ex-bourbon barrels to begin with, and then finished with a sherry of some kind. Or maybe it was aged in both at the same time. I don't know. Yes, some fudge, some caramel, vanilla, fruits wrapping the whole thing up. I'm surprised that there's not more peat smoke in this. There's a little bit of peat. It's very subtle, but it's there. It's still subtle. It's fruits, and there's a little bit something spicy too. Now in the aftertaste, I'm getting some white pepper. White pepper. It's spicy towards the end. Quite spicy. Dry too. Dry and spicy at the end. I don't know what to think of this. I think it may have to open up in the bottle for a while to get really good. Or maybe it's just another iteration of Highland Park. Just like there are many iterations of Macallan. They're owned by the same people. So who knows? Okay. Blood curdling screams. And let's see. Creamy vanilla. Voluptuous and silky smooth wraps itself around sweet preserved ginger. I didn't get ginger at all. And luscious dark chocolate. Well, maybe that's where I get the fudge. Okay, fudge. Chocolate. Maybe. Soothing and enticing in equal measure with tranquilizing hints of salty black licorice and crackle of smoldering bonfire. Really? The saltiness that I'm getting, that's where they get black licorice. Okay. We're getting the same thing, but we're using different words to describe it. Okay. Exquisitely balanced. The long and lingering finish delivers waves of warm aromatic smoke and richly ripened fruit. I'm getting mostly white pepper. Well, that's the way I experience it. Others may experience it differently. And I guess whoever wrote this experiences it differently from the way I do. Yeah. I think maybe I will get more of these flavors, if possible, after it opens up some. This bottle, as you know, it's the first impression. I have just popped it, so who knows what will develop as the level goes down. The other thing is, it's a black bottle. I can't see through it. I can't tell how much there is. I won't know when it's just about to be empty. I guess I can tell by the weight. Okay, well, this was another interesting try. I'm going to come back with something Canadian real soon. Sláinte.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Yeah.